Most of the time when I'm talking to people about coming to Charlotte, they have a general idea of where it is. Okay, most people don't really know where it is. They think it's either on the edge of the mountains or it's closer to the ocean, and they certainly don't know where a lot of the suburbs are. So what we're going to do here is we're going to give you a map tour of the suburb of Belmont. It's a neighborhood, or actually it's a small town west of Charlotte across the river, the Botanical River, and we did a video tour of the town just a while back, so you might want to take a look at that. We'll stick that up over here or over here. I'll have to get my editors to mess with me a little bit, but we're going to go ahead and give you a map tour of the area, so stick around. Hey, I'm Dave DeSilva with Longtime Realty, brokered by eXp Realty right here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And if this is your first time to the station or to the channel, or been to the channel before but you haven't subscribed, please crush that button down below, hit the bell, and you'll be the first to get notified when we have new videos about the Charlotte market. Every time they come out, you'll be made aware. So go ahead and please do that for us. Yeah, so this channel is focused all on the Charlotte market, and that covers everything north of Charlotte within about 45 minutes or so, everything south of Charlotte down to Rock Hill, west past Gastonia, and northeast up towards Salisbury, Concord area. Sometimes we go that far, but we're going to cover all that area on this channel. And it doesn't matter whether you're thinking of moving here in 10 days, 10 weeks, or 10 months. We would love to talk to you about the area and see how we can help you out. We do get text messages, we get calls, we get emails all the time from people just like you thinking about coming to the area. And what we do is we say, go ahead and send us a message, make a comment, tell us what you want to know. You can get on a Zoom call. Down in the description, there's a link to do that. It's great getting on a Zoom call with you guys and talking to you about the market, trying to answer questions. So please go ahead and take advantage of that. So here's what we're going to do today. We're going to take a map. We're going to pull up a map in just a couple minutes, and we're going to show you Charlotte in the middle and all the cities within 2, 3, 4 hours around Charlotte, the East Coast, and also the mountain ranges. And then we're going to identify some of the major routes in and out and around Charlotte. And then we'll zoom a little bit closer into the Charlotte area with a focus on Belmont, which is the city of our focus today. And then we're even going to go closer into Belmont, and then one more time, because Belmont's got a great downtown, we're going to go even a little bit closer. So we'll try to get through this without wasting a lot of time. I have been told that some of these map tours can get lengthy. That's not an indicator that these aren't worth watching. So if you're thinking about moving to Charlotte, you'll get a great idea. If you're thinking about moving to Belmont, you'll get a really good idea of what's around Belmont. So here we go. Give me just a couple seconds and we'll get the map pulled up. All right, so here we go. What I'm going to do is identify a couple cities and then jump into identifying the distance from Charlotte and some of the major routes. And of course, we're going to start out right here with Charlotte. And then just to the west of Charlotte across the river, that's Belmont. And like I said, we'll zoom in. So you've got 485, Route 485, zipping around Charlotte. That is a 3 to 4 lane road, depending on where on the highway you're cruising. From Charlotte, you can head north out of Charlotte along 77. That'll get you up to Virginia and West Virginia. You can head south on 77. That'll get you to Columbia. Columbia is about an hour and a half away, give or take. So there we go with Columbia. And at Columbia, I found out recently, if it's storming and you've got a lot of rain, they advise not going around the south side of Columbia, the loop around Columbia, but taking the northern loop, even if you're going south. A little bit of public information there. From Columbia, you can head over to Charleston. That's Route 26. Charleston's a great city, and that's going to take you about 3 hours, give or take, 3 hours from Charlotte all the way, hour and a half to Columbia, then another hour and a half to Charleston. And if you're thinking of going further south, you would jump on 95 here, and that'll take you to Savannah. And that's about a 3.5 hour drive, give or take 4 hours, maybe at the most. So that's when you're heading south on 77. North, you're just running into Virginia, West Virginia, Charleston, West Virginia. Okay, let's go east-west. And this is actually north-south route. I always say that. That's 85. So 85 will take you through Spartanburg, Greenville, all the way down to Atlanta. That's about a 4 hour drive to Atlanta. It says about 3 hours, 45 to 50 minutes, but it gets pretty crowded down there. So it's going to be about a 4 hour drive. If you're heading to Greenville, which is a beautiful city here, it's really spruce itself up, and then you got Spartanburg, Greenville, Spartanburg. That's going to be about an hour and 45 minutes, maybe 2 hours if 85 gets pretty busy. And then on 85 heading north, you would take 85 to Winston-Salem, Greensboro. That's right up in this area. It's about, and these are all times from maybe downtown Charlotte, a little bit south of Charlotte or west of Charlotte. But that's going to take you about an hour and 30, hour and 45 minutes to get up to Greensboro. Then, and I always say, if it's rush hour, it might take you 2 hours plus. And then from there, you would hit 40 and 85 over to Raleigh. I always say this too, home of the NC State Wolfpack. Go back. And that's about 2 hours and 50 minutes. I usually give myself 3 hours. Now, if you're heading up towards Richmond, jump on 85. Richmond's about 5 hours away. Stop that. You don't turn here, you keep going straight. But that's about 5 hours away. And then if you want to head towards the coast, there's a couple different ways to get out to the coast. And what I'm talking about, the coast, is right over here. That's the northern coast. And that's the Outer Banks. And right here is Duck, Kill Devil Hills. And I think right just north of Duck, I believe, is Kitty Hawk, and that's the home of the first manned flight. The Wright brothers from Dayton, Ohio in 1903 got their Wright Flyer and went about 100 and something feet, manned propelled flight. So that's kind of cool. But you would head over this way or maybe even up north. We've been out there just once during winter season. It was quite a crazy drive. Okay, so I already talked about heading south. We're going to head east out of Charlotte a little bit over to Wilmington, and you're going to jump on a bypass on 74, go through Laurinburg, Lumberton, south of Fayetteville, and you're in Wilmington, and the beach is down there in about 3.5 hours. I used to be able to make it to this area by myself in just over 3 hours, taking a little bit of a back road. But Wilmington, the indication is about 3.5 hours now. So it's going to be a good ride, one-stop ride. All these beaches up and down here. You got North Myrtle Beach, Follies Island. Folly is down here south of Charleston. But these, again, are going to be 3.5, 4 hours because you can't get there directly from Charlotte. You've got to jump off the road in a couple different places. So let's see. We're going to go from here. We're going to go northwest a little bit. If you're heading out towards Asheville, beautiful Asheville, go to the Biltmore Estate, then go visit my friend Tom. That from Charlotte is typically out to 26, and then heading north, and that's about an hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours plus, depending on where in Charlotte you are and how fast you're driving. If you want to head up to Boone and Blowing Rock, that's a beautiful day trip. That's about 2 hours, a little bit less than 2 hours. You're going to jump on 321, and that's the home of the App State Mountaineers. Sorry about that. Don't tell my daughter I forgot. Last place I'll talk about is Knoxville. You're going to jump on 40 and then weave your way out to Dizzy Ride past Pigeon Forge. There's Knoxville, Tennessee. Pigeon Forge is a big, in Gatlinburg, big resort and visiting places. And that's, again, about 4 hours. So there you go with some of the major cities. You think we hit them all. Unless you're a golfer, there's Augusta. Masters is down there. It's about another hour from Columbia. And here you've got this little mountain range. It's up in here somewhere. And that's the Blue Ridge Mountains, the Appalachians. That's the Blue Ridge Mountains. They've got great hiking up there, great mountain biking, a lot of activity up in the mountains, and of course, I already talked about the beaches. So that'll give you hopefully a general idea of Charlotte, where it sits, and the main point of our conversation today right here, right there, is Belmont, little town of Belmont. So what we're going to do is zoom in next on Charlotte, talk about some of the suburbs right around it, focusing on Belmont again, and then talk about maybe if there are some places to go within half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour of Charlotte. We'll talk about those. So stick around for a second while we redo our map. All right, so here we are with a little bit more of a zoomed in map of the Charlotte area. As you can see, that's Charlotte, and we want to highlight Belmont off to the west here. And that's a very short distance, maybe 15, 20 minutes in between Charlotte and Belmont. And that's if it's heavily trafficked. It's only about 8 to 10 miles. But you've got Charlotte, and on the north side of Charlotte is 85, which kind of makes up this 277 loop that's inside the 485 loop. So you've got two loops going around the city of Charlotte, one around hitting all the suburbs and the other one hitting a lot of neighborhoods. So that is Charlotte in there. We already talked about 77 heading north and going to the west of Charlotte just a little bit, and then heading south, that's into Rock Hill. And then we're going to go ahead and kind of identify Route 85, which is going northeast to southwest. Go southwest here, goes right through Belmont. We'll identify some of these places down to Atlanta, and then north up through Winston-Salem, Greensboro, over then to Raleigh. Like I said before, you've got 74 heading east to Wilmington. This is the 74 bypass, and I think those were the major roads I talked about, except for maybe 321, which heads north into Hickory, and then Boone, and then you can also get to Asheville by getting on Route 40 if you want to go that way. But what we're going to do here is just identify some of the suburbs nearby, and we'll start from the north. You've got Huntersville up north, Cornelius, Davidson, and then you've got Mooresville, and that's about as far as we want to go up there. You can go up to Statesville a little bit further north. Up to the northeast, of course, you get Kannapolis right up here, China Grove, that's just a little town. And then you've got Salisbury, you've got Concord down here. Harrisburg's a great little suburb. Mint Hill, we've done a video on Mint Hill. We've done a video on Matthews. Matthews has got Indian Trail. We're not going to talk much about Monroe. We will do a specific video on the city of Monroe with some new construction down there. We have done a video on Waxhaw, which is to the south, and here's how you get to Waxhaw. It's Providence Road, Route 16. Indian Land, Fort Mill. We've done a video on Fort Mill, so if you want to look at any of these suburb videos, go check that out on my channel. And then Rock Hill, which is kind of part of the MSA of Charlotte, giving us about 2.7 million people in the MSA Metropolitan Statistical Area. And then out west is Gastonia, Belmont, of course, right here. You've got Mount Holly, a little bit to the northwest. Stanley, that's not really a suburb of Charlotte, neither is Lowesville. But then you get up to Denver. I did a video on Trilogy, which was a 55-plus community that was right up here off the lake. So those are some of the suburbs. I think I've hit most of them. Don't want to spend all day on them. A couple highlights right here. Lake Norman, one of the largest man-made lakes in the south, and that is just anywhere from 25 to 30 minutes north of Charlotte, depending on where you want to go around Lake Norman. Quite a bit to do on the lake. You're going to see it boating every weekend up there and even during the weeks. On the south side, we'll talk a lot about the Catawba River later, and then that leads into Lake Wylie. And I didn't mention TK down here, which is a nice little suburb as well. But Lake Wylie's the southern big lake, and then you've got High Rock Lake over here, and you've got Baden here, and you've got Tillery here. Now, these lakes are not necessarily Charlotte lakes. They're a good hour away plus, depending on where you want to go on the lake. Could be a little bit more, might be a little bit shorter. One place I want to talk about is right in here. That's the Uwharrie Forest, and I like to talk about that because the Army does a lot of training out there many times a year. They've been doing that since 1952. It's called Robin Sage, a little special forces training exercise that takes place out here. And what's cool about it is the townspeople from Troy and the Uwharrie area, they all participate, and they have passed that down through generations. So that's kind of cool. Google something about special forces training and Robin Sage and Troy, and you'll find out a little bit more about that. What else can I highlight? You've got the Charlotte Douglas International Airport right over here. No, well, actually, it's not on the highway, but that's right over there. You've got the Whitewater Center, which is just out here. That's the U.S. National Whitewater Center. They have the Olympic trials out there. You've got climbing walls, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. But again, just a quick orientation. The furthest east I'd go out here to say maybe you're kind of in Charlotte is Midland, but that's really not a suburb of Charlotte. So I think I've hit most of the places I want to hit. Again, major routes all through the area. A lot of times people determine where they live based on how fast they can get into the city from certain directions, or if they need to go to the airport, or if they're water people. I've had plenty of people tell me that they want to be on a lake or near a lake or have lake access. So there are a lot of marinas around here that will provide storage for your boats, or even some of them have rentals, and some of them as part of their community, like Trilogy, will have you pay a certain fee. It's part of your rate fee, I believe, and an initiation fee to be able to use their boat. So what we're going to do now is cut out of here, zoom in a little bit more on Belmont, and then we've got one more to go after that. So get ready to learn more about Belmont. Okay, so now we've zoomed in a little bit more, even more to Belmont, and we're going to show you just some of the things right around Belmont. Then I want to get into a little bit closer in Belmont and show you some of the highlights of the downtown area. But this is Belmont. Goes from way up here, you see the red dotted line, all the way to the South Carolina, North Carolina border right down here. And then in here. So that's Belmont. This is the Catawba River. It's heading from up north, goes down into Lake Wylie on the south side. Here is the Charlotte Douglas International Airport, one of the largest and busiest in the country. Right beside it goes Route 485 to kind of show you a little bit of some of the places you've seen before in this tour. There's 77 over here. So Charlotte is in that direction, a pretty good arrow. And then off to the west, you've got 85 heading southwest, essentially. It'll head southwest to Atlanta. And then it goes up into the north side of Charlotte. Let me redraw my Atlanta route there. That's not even the important. You've got two ways to get into Charlotte. So you've got this, actually three ways. You've got this 85 route here that'll get you into Charlotte. And then you're going to jump on 485 depending on where you want to go. And then you've also got Route 74 that goes through the northern side of Belmont. If you want to hop a train, where the heck is that track? There's a train track right over here that goes over the river. Probably not a good idea. But you can also get there by this route here, because it's the road 273 that goes all the way through Belmont, comes to the south side, and then splits off into 279, goes down into South Carolina, and then intersects with a road that'll take you, which is 49, which will take you across the Buster Boyd Bridge, across Lake Wylie, which is this area down here, and then up into Charlotte. So a couple access points. It is not a long time. It might take you 20 minutes to get into Charlotte, 20-25, and then 485 does get busy. So if you could work remotely, stay in Belmont, work all day there. It's got some beautiful places to hang out during your breaks. What you're going to see in Belmont, and where we're going to go later, is down Main Street here, and then Catawba East, that road to the Catawba River. We're going to hit Lofton Park, talk about that. Just south of Lofton Park is Riverside, which is another marina. And Riverside's kind of cool. You can rent boats, kayaks, that sort of thing down there in Riverside. Of course, you got a Harris Teeter. Every city in and Carolina's got to have a Harris Teeter. But the nice thing about Harris Teeter is right across the street from South Point High School. Very nice high school. One of the two that serves Belmont. The other one's off in Cramerton. I think it's Stuart Cramer High School. So let's see, where else can I show you? Some of the nice neighborhoods. There's one, awesome one right here. Can't even get in it. It's a gated neighborhood, Reflection Point. Many multi-million-dollar homes. The next neighborhood that's really nice is right down here, and that is McLean South Shore. And I'm going to mess this up a little bit, but I've got an arrow pointing to a place called Drift, which is a great restaurant related to the Pump House down in Riverwalk in Rock Hill, South Carolina. So very nice place. Great place to go visit too is Daniel Stowe Botanical Garden. They've got Orchard Park there. They've got obviously gardens of a billion flowers. You can have a wedding there, different events. We did a casino night there when I was with another firm a number of years ago. That was always fun. So all this stuff is right around the city of Belmont. Again, this is Belmont all the way down here. You get Charlotte off this direction, and then South Carolina right here. Here's the South Carolina border. Right across the street, out over in this direction is Crowder's Mountain, and then you've got Kings Mountain, a Revolutionary War battlefield, and great places to camp and hike. I've been to Kings Mountain, can't tell you a dozen times plus, with my kids and family and friends. We used to have a group of friends that would go out there camping every summer. So just a short drive from Charlotte, and that's about it for the inner workings of Belmont. Nope, let me cover a couple more places. Just north of Belmont is that U.S. National Whitewater Center, and that's on the east side of the Catawba River. Then on the north side of this road right here, I'm not sure why it's not in this map, is Belmont Abbey College, and it's a great old college. It was created or established by some monks out of Latrobe, Pennsylvania in the 1880s, I believe, on some property that was bought by one of the early settlers in Belmont, which used to be called Garibaldi. Belmont means beautiful mountain, but that settler bought the property and gave it to the monks, and they established Belmont Abbey, great college. And I think that's about it. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom right in on downtown Belmont and talk to you a little bit about some of the things going on downtown Belmont. See if this time if I can keep this going and not have you guys get cut off about it. Sorry for having you wait so long here. It should be just about done. All right, here we go. All right, so if you like this sort of a map tour where we're zooming into a suburb of Charlotte, and we don't do it to neighborhoods, mainly suburbs, let me know. Tell me what you like about it. Tell me what you didn't like about it. And if you like everything we're doing on this channel, please subscribe. You'll be the first one to get notified if you ring the bell of things that we're putting out about the Charlotte general area, the market of Charlotte. So here we are in downtown Belmont, and this is Main Street. I'll try not to mess it up too much. And this is East Catawba. It takes you over to the Catawba River over here. But what we want to talk about a little bit is downtown Belmont, right in here. Some of the things that are going on there. It is a really cool place for Hollywood nostalgia. You've got a place called Nellie's, which is sitting right up here. And the claim to fame to Nellie's is it was founded by, I believe, the father of the Jonas Brothers. And they have maintained that place here in Belmont and one in Las Vegas. And I would think you get two different kind of clientele there. But it's, it's one of those places you stop in, grab a bite to eat, and then roam around the town. It is extremely walkable. You can walk all over Belmont in a short period of time and see a ton. One of the great things down here too is, and I think this railroad track here that you see down here is no longer there, this one here. There's a place called the Station. There's an ice cream shop in there. It's kind of like a stop and pop in place for hamburgers and for a drink. That's kind of cool. Across the street, there's 3 places that are run by Holy Angels, and I think that's a little bit further up north, these 3 places. But there's, is it Blossoms, Cherub, and then the Candy Cane Factory. And Holy Angels is a charitable organization who hires pretty much the challenge, handicap, that sort of thing. And they work in their stores, and it's a great spot. So stop in. And I am all messed up. But the candy store is fantastic. And next to the candy store is a little park, and there's some benches all up and down here. You can just sit out and enjoy the traffic going by. It's not a busy place, but it's very enjoyable to sit out there. You've got the Lodge Tap and Tavern. You've got another brewery, the Primal Brewery, Belmont. There's also one down south. This is a great spot, and it's called Stowe Park. There's a great military memorial in there right up here. That's a little fountain. That's kind of cool. But you can go there, and there's a playground. People are in there playing all the time, walking back and forth. A number of homes off these roads. You got a couple $1 million ones up here. Some of the older homes in the town. So a lot to do walking up and down. You got an ice cream shop. You got the restaurant. There's Waterbean. There's a Waterbean up here. Great coffee shop. It's the sister shop of the one in Pineville, which I've been to plenty of times. So great coffee. Stop in there. And then once you jump on East Catawba and you're heading out towards the beach a little bit, a place you gotta stop in is this Catawba River Antique Mall. And I did a video on Belmont a while back, and what I said about this antique mall was it's from the scene in Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, where it's at the end. He's got the Covenant of the Ark, and they're bringing it into a special secure location, and the government agents tell Indiana Jones, hey, we've got top people on it. This antique mall has got rows and rows and rows of antique shops and goodies, piled up on each side. And you look down there, and it looks like that scene where it's just endless supply of trinkets and sports memorabilia and dolls, some of them pretty scary. So that's a pretty place to go into and hang out. And then you go a little bit further down. There's also a little dance shop across the street here. You go a little bit further down in this direction, and you've got a distillery, and you've got Riverside Marina, and this is where you can rent kayaks and some boats and take them out on the Catawba River. If you head north from there, you squeeze your way up to this place right here. It's fairly new. It opened up about 7 months ago, and this place over here, it's been here a little bit longer, maybe about a year or two. That is the Belmont Skate Park, and then you've got the Belmont Parks and Rec building, and it is an awesome facility. They let me roam around a little bit, although I'm not even from Belmont. They had no problems let me take some pictures, but that is a great facility there. Lots of kids, playing basketball, doing games, doing crafts, working out, just enjoying it. And then the last place I'll mention is Kevin Lofton Park, where you can go down in the water. They have a kayak launch down there on the water. There are a bunch of ducks hanging out. There's a playground, there's picnic canopies, grills, there's a restroom in case you got to go, but great stuff. And then, of course, just north of that is 74, which gets you back over into Charlotte. So an endless supply of things to do in Belmont. You could actually walk this from here out to Lofton Park. It's going to be a little bit of a hike, but it's sidewalk, pretty safe going through here. Just a great little city. So if you want some more information about Belmont or the surrounding area, please leave it in the comments. We'd love to hear back from you, hear what you're thinking about this. Give me some critique. I'm a little bit soft skin, thin skin, whatever you call it. Not really, but give me some critique. Let me know what we can do better. And I appreciate you hanging around for this video on Belmont. Thanks.